is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
Welcome into the Fitness Fanatics. It is Sunday, July 23rd, 39 days away from the 2023 Nebraska football season. That's what the countdown says on our fridge anyway.
Did you update it this morning?
I don't know if I did or not, but we're close. Yeah, I think it's 39 days. So I know yesterday, once we get close to the weekend.
You count it by Saturdays now.
We're now 5 Saturdays away. We got through one. It was just dreadful. There's nothing happening, nothing on television.
It's true dead days of sports.
Just to be clear, we did go out to dinner last night. We had a little date night, but thanks a lot. I guess that means nothing.
Not much going on, huh? Last night.
Boring. What a terrible day.
Just a dreadful night. No sports.
Was your idea, by the way.
Yeah, we did go out to dinner. I forgot about that. Yeah. Then we did a little errand and we had to go to Sam's Club. And so we kind of,
typical 25-year anniversary or wedding, marriage, date night.
That was last month.
25-year marriage date night. Typical 25-year marriage date night.
Oh, yeah. You go out to eat and then you go do an errand.
Yeah.
And then we drove our son's car. Our son bought a car as a 2006 Ford 500.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So it feels like a car my grandparents would drive. Or my parents.
It was like a 90-year-old woman's car.
94-year-old woman. Yeah. And so we drove that. We're like, I was like, well, we're old, so I want to feel like an old person. But it's like leather interior.
It's a great car. It's like a tank.
It's like my parents used to drive Buicks, my grandparents, like a Buick. That's kind of
my first car.
It's kind of what it seemed like.
Reliable.
Yeah. He could have that car for a while. It is a beast to drive it.
Yes.
So
before we get started, I want to shout out our sponsor. Speaking of our sponsor, that's where we got the car from.
Mm-hmm.
It was Becky Moratsky's 94-year-old aunt. We bought that car from her, so it's pretty awesome.
I used to know it's probably in pretty good shape.
I mean, it's nicer than my car.
Old people, that's one thing. If you're buying a car, if you're getting it from an older person, they're not just revving that thing down the engine.
Pristine.
And they probably got receipts for all the oil changes.
Heated seats. I mean, just so much space in the back. We're like, if we go on another road trip as a family, we're probably gonna take this car. So, yeah, Ben's just he's but it's pretty cool when you're raising your kids and they work and they save their money and they buy their own car. So we're having him drive around and I'm just like, can you believe you're just driving down O Street in your car that you bought with your money? It's a cool feeling, to say like, and then we went to register it. And I thought since he was under 18, I had to put it in my name so I could hold it over on him. Like, no, taking your car. No, it's in his name. So now I can't even I'm taking this away.
Well, we could definitely still
we could, but yeah. So the car is in his name. We went to the DMV and we had to get, our daughter got a new car too. So we all had to get our new, and I had to register, re-up my plates. So I go to pay for mine. This is mine's like $120 to renew my 2011 Corolla. So then we go to Ben's car and he has to get new plates and his is like $250. And the kids are they're paying their own fees here. I'm not paying
so
the
they're
fees
getting their full DMV run. There's probably a lot to
So they're paying. So my bill's $120, Ben's is $250, and then my daughter, she financed her car and the taxes weren't financed. So hers was like $1,500. I was like, better get your card out because it's not coming off my card, So again, just a proud parent moment that, she pays for that on her own and it's hers. And She finances, so it gives her a chance to build some credit along the way. So
back to our sponsor.
Yes. So Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to them. Appreciate them sponsoring our show. So what I want to get to is, coming up at 9:30, we have a guest. Her name is Amy Gunn. She is going to be streaming in all the way from Oregon. She grew up in Nebraska. Now she's an avid hiker out in Oregon. So we're excited to talk about her fitness journey, how she ended up out in Oregon, growing up in Nebraska. So she's going to be joining us via the stream coming up at the top of the second hour. But first, I want to recap. Last Sunday, our show was recorded because we had the Nebraska road race, which we were talking about for months. So for some of the people that have signed up for the road race, it was the best 5K they've ever signed up for because they didn't have to run one step. So,
except there were a lot of kids that were disappointed that they didn't get to do the mile run. As we were walking, we'll talk about it, but they relocated the race kind of so we could still have the time with the players. And as we were walking to the Hawk Center, there was a little girl that was disappointed. Like she really wanted, she was ready to race this 1 mile. Like she was disappointed. I know.
The kids were, I wasn't too upset about it. Our son wasn't upset about it.
How soon did you guys know?
Oh, we stood. So we got there.
You knew right when you got there.
Really?
Because they weren't letting you on the field because there was lightning and whatever. So we kind of knew that something was going to change.
Yeah.
And you talked to Jay, one of our members that's the
Foreman?
Announcer.
No, he wasn't out there.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't know Jay was out there.
Jay Marshall, who is one of our members at the Meadow Lane location.
Okay,
but he's the MC or he's the announcer, so he's the one that's like, coming from Lincoln, Jeff Essing, 43 minutes, 27 seconds. That's him. So he's like the public address announcer for the event. So, and I saw Keith. Keith was out there. So they had some contingency plans that they were just going to move it to the Hawk Center and then, still let everybody interact with the players. So we weren't able to go onto the field. So it was about a little after probably 8:15, 8:30 is when they kind of called it and said, because they couldn't delay it because there was a camp scheduled at 11.
Oh,
so in the stadium.
So they could have pushed it off. Like if that camp wasn't scheduled, everybody could have waited for an hour and then because it cleared up. I mean, by 10:30 you could have ran and there was no storms in the area. So what was cool for me and like for a lot of the people is we made our way from the stadium to the Hawk Center. So we walked through the actual tunnel that they come out for the tunnel walk. So I was able to touch the horseshoe, which I never have before. And I texted one of my buddies and I was like, look at this. And he's like, well, it hasn't worked for that's how we go negative. But so that was pretty cool walking by like the Hall of Fame, the Wall of Honors. I mean,
it was much more fancy than I thought it was going to be. And I don't know why in my mind, I figure it's like just going from the locker room to like a cinder block walled to get to the stadium, but it was very fancy.
Well, that was the Colorado facilities.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
It was it was nicer than I expected. It was very fancy to get from the locker room to we didn't go in the locker room. We walked past the locker room.
Yeah, we thought about going in there, but we don't want to get in trouble. So.
I've only seen the guest locker rooms.
Okay.
Not super nice.
Yeah. Not as bad as Iowa's visitor locker room. It's pink, which is rude on multiple levels.
Is it actually?
Yes.
I'm surprised I don't know that.
It's pink. Yeah, walls, everything's pink. Lockers, everything is pink in the locker room.
Rude on many levels.
So something started by Hayden Fry in the 80s, the psychological, like it's pink. You're going to just get you nice and calm, soothing, and not ready to go. So it is pink. Yes, it's a legendary pink locker room.
Yes.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work out last year against Nebraska. So too bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go out into the Hawk Center and all the players, I don't know if every player was there, but there were players everywhere.
Yes.
So Ben had two guys that he wanted to meet and get his picture taken with, which was Anthony Grant and Jeff Sims. Ben got his picture with Anthony Grant, and Jeff Sims. We saw all the players that have been on our show the last couple of years. Ramir Johnson was there. We took our picture with him. Nick Henrich. Noelle was there. We chatted with him and Ethan Piper. We were kind of talking at the same time to those guys. But for me, I saw one of my favorite players growing up was Baron Miles.
Okay.
And his son was there. So I went up to him and I was telling him, I was like, hey, your dad was my favorite player when I was in high school. And I wore number 14 when I played football as a senior. And I told everybody that my favorite player was Baron Miles. And of course, the school that I went to, they were just jerks. And it was in Iowa. And they'd be like, "Those Baron Miles on the field." Like they just make fun of me,
Oh, no.
I know, so bad. So he was cracking up, laughing. He's probably like, "Who's this nerd here?"
Old
but
people.
The nerdiest thing that I did was Maverick Noonan was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big.
Which, by the way, what a great name, Maverick. That's a great name.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
The last name too. Even the last
yes.
name Noonan.
Yeah.
That is a nice.
That's
that
a great
rolls
name.
off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's incoming freshman.
Yep.
And his dad played for Nebraska. Now his dad also played for the Dallas Cowboys. Now the reason I know this is because his dad is on Tecmo Super Bowl.
It gets worse. It keeps getting worse.
It gets more nerdy as we
right.
go. And I wonder what the conversations were between him and his dad. If I can find that out later, that would be good. Because I pulled I said, "Did your dad play for the Dallas Cowboys?" I wanted to make sure it was the right Noonan.
Right.
And he was like, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Well, I play a game that was made 1991.
I know what you're talking about."
He kind of knew.
He's seen some people play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was remotely or
Yes.
he was just being nice.
Everyone, I think it's the common known name. Like I didn't really know what Technical is, but you've talked about it enough. I put it together.
Yeah.
I knew the name before.
Right.
Most people you hear, well, it's Bo Jackson, and that's what you kind of hear. So yeah, I was like, now your dad, he's the nose tackle for the Cowboys on this game. So I pulled up TecmoGeek.com and it has all the players on there. So I went to the Cowboys. I pulled up Danny Noonan, and each player has their little 8-bit mug shot, right?
Yeah, right.
So I was like, well, here's your dad right here. And then I zoomed in on the face. I was like, here's your dad's mug shot on this game. He was cracking up laughing. He's like, well, what's his speed on there? So I was going over all the attributes and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I mean, defensive tackle wise, he's not very highly rated, versus like Reggie White, Howie Long, Bruce Smith, those big time defensive tackles, Richard Dent, like those are kind of the best ones on the game. So he was probably like, oh my gosh. I was like, so tell your dad that somebody came up to you and knew who you were because of him on Tecmo Super Bowl. So that was kind of, nerdy on my part too, but
sounds like he had a good time with it though.
We did have a great time. Yeah.
Seems like he was enjoying looking up the stats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was like, cause the little 8-bit photos and stuff, and it had like a mullet, and he was really cracking up. Thought it was funny.
You'll have to take a screenshot of it and send it to me, and I'll put it on our Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'll tag him. I'm sure he's on Instagram.
I don't know if he told his dad or not, but all the faces they can only look so many different ways. But
I think he probably would have, because like nowadays, like that's the only pro stats you get on a guy. Like if you want, like, it's not like he's gonna be able to pull up Madden stats, what would you be? So it's like kind of your best one. That's always super fun to look up.
Yeah, that was the Madden stats. Now would be the Tecmo Super Bowl stats back in 1991.
So you probably didn't even realize it's like, oh, there was like a video game grade on my dad.
Yeah,
that would be funny to see.
Right.
And it's funny that he asked you wanted to see the stats. I wasn't there for the conversation, so I didn't know
what was the speed. So I'm kind of explaining like, okay, rush power, like all these things that he doesn't know about. And then the last person we had chatted with was Chubba Purdy.
Okay.
So we were talking about, our dislike for Iowa. And I started the conversation because I was just asking him, like, do you give your brother Brock a hard time because he lost every game to Iowa and you didn't? And so he's like, well, I was at home in my apartment because he was injured. So wasn't actually there. And I was like, doesn't matter. You're on the team. You beat Iowa. And then we just started talking about like, I remember all these Iowa State games, and there was one game where Iowa State muffed a punt with like 90 seconds left. They would have had the ball at like the 40. Of course, Iowa luck fashion, the punt returner for Iowa State, it goes right through his arms. Iowa recovers. they didn't. There was nobody around him. He wasn't hit. It wasn't like they caused a fumble. He just muffed it. Iowa recovers, game over. And then there was one game where I think it was like Brock's worst game of the year. He threw multiple picks and fumbled. I mean, it was just every time it was just his worst game. And then I asked Chubba, you know, I wanted to see how I can get involved in this ping pong thing that they have, you know, because I've seen him and Coach Rule playing ping pong, and he was like, "Oh, you think you're pretty good?" I was like, "Well, you know, I'm not Forrest Gump, but I mean, you know,
you are pretty good at ping pong.
I am." So he said him and Brock, you know, were grew up table in their basement, and he said Coach Rule's only beat him once.
Oh,
so right now Chubba's like the ping pong king of Nebraska.
I can see that. He looks like he'd be the king.
Ping pong is a really good like brother game too. Like if you're close in age with your brother.
I grew up playing ping pong in the basement with my
did.
brother and dad and uncles and
Oh yeah, I had some friends. We played a lot until the paddles were all broken.
Yeah,
that was always a problem. You get a bunch of like middle school kids in there playing table tennis. The patience, isn't there on the losing side.
Well, and my dad he moved into these apartments. There was a brief time that my dad and stepmom were separated, and we moved into these apartments. And they had a ping pong table in the apartments.
And, in a rec room.
In a rec room. And every week there was like 6 guys that would go play. You know, we were playing one time and they came down and they're all like in their 80s, 70s and 80s. I mean, one guy couldn't even bend over to pick up the ball.
So you got the A team rolling
just
down.
Kicked it to
he kicked it over.
Okay.
He could not bend over to pick up the ball. And these guys, I mean, they were good.
Really?
Oh yes,
Just built in.
That's kind of where like I learned from them. And it's like
from these the
like
veterans. Okay.
like all defense, right? You make your opponent make a mistake, pick your shots, and because you get some people that are just trying all offense and they slam go off the table. But that's where I kind of really learned to play defense in ping pong was from the old guys.
Yeah.
But they were good. I mean, they're probably all dead now, but this was 30
are.
years ago. So yeah, they're probably all gone now. But yeah.
So are you the best person in your household then?
Oh, absolutely.
In our house, like our 4-person house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the best person in the family because I won the Essing Christmas table tennis tournament back in 1996.
You won a trophy one time in a church ping pong tournament too.
Oh.
So you actually have some accolades.
You got a couple pieces of hardware.
Yeah, but I'll tell you. I've been to the Iowa games.
You don't talk about that part of your life enough on there.
Well,
you talk about the football camp all the time. That's what you need to bring on the airwaves.
There are a few things I'm good at.
Yeah.
Ping pong is one of them.
Yes.
Chalk that one up there.
But
that was just on my memories. Like last week, the
Iowa games.
Yeah, you and Ben.
So,
not our son Ben, but a friend Ben played doubles in the Iowa games.
Yeah, we went to the Iowa games. This was a long time ago.
There's zero it's like the Cornhusker State games. Like you don't have to qualify for it.
Okay.
You just sign up.
Pay,
up,
and you're in.
Yeah.
All right.
And the people there, I mean, I am nowhere even near the caliber of those players that go to the Iowa games or probably the Cornhusker State games.
Yeah, it's the same
I mean, there are, serving and they're just hold the ball. Like if you ever watch the Olympics and they're just 30 feet behind the table. I mean,
yeah, I have a threshold when I start seeing like the ridiculous spins on serves. That's kind of where I'm like, I can like get a backspin on it, but there's some different serves out there that when they get to a certain level advanced, and like you said, if you don't know how to play defense, like you're just gonna get swept every time.
That's pretty much what happened.
It was. So I'm good for like you play at home. And,
average Jeff, you're good. You're above average Jeff ping pong player.
I'd say I'm above average. Like
you'd beat your average Joe 75%.
I could probably hang with Coach Rule. I bet on the ping pong table.
I bet you could.
So, but me getting an invite's a whole nother story.
That's not happening.
But I mean, if Matt Rule's only beat Purdy once, and Purdy's just that dominant.
I could take him.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I could tell he had a little fear in his eyes. I think
when we moved in town,
Chubba?
Oh yeah, you can tell.
Okay, no.
I want to get a ping pong table now.
He saw me in there.
Yeah, we need to get one at the new station.
I could tell.
It's a great little blow off some steam.
Oh yeah,
it's good. Tough. It's you get. I mean, when I play, when I play anything, I don't just go halfway. I mean, I play to win. I keep score. It doesn't matter what it is. So I'll be working up a sweat. I mean, yeah, you got to be in shorts and t-shirt and you're just ready. I can't go down there in jeans and flip-flops. I mean, you have to be dressed for the occasion when you get into the ping pong arena with me.
Maybe
But
we should have a ticket ping pong tournament.
Oh, well, that'd be
I
great.
put a bit in there.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I'm not bad. Usually play it for.
I don't know if there's
holidays.
going to be a ping pong room at the new studio or not.
I'm assuming not, but if I talk about it enough, maybe
Right.
people will consider it.
They'd be like, all right, you got back from break. Everybody's rushing into the studio. Like, wait,
true.
we got one more point to go. But no, it's a fun sport that anybody can play. But Chubb is listening. I could see a little fear in his eyes. I didn't get an invite, so what does that tell you?
No.
But no, our kids thought it was cool because I'm big NFL fans and
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, starting for the Niners and stuff like that. So it was just a really cool experience. It's always cool to see the players out there interacting with the kids. We had a group. Not everybody came out because of the rain, but
yeah, I was wondering because you guys actually got a pretty good number heading into it, but I don't know what the turnout was because obviously if it got rained out,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
of
if
our
anybody's
group,
showing up.
most of our people showed up. Maybe 5 or 6 just called it because.
Oh, so
it
you
was-
actually still had pretty much.
Oh yeah,
everyone.
we had a big
Nice.
group. We still had a big group.
Biggest one
but-
there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so.
of
Nice.
team. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
team.
talking about the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. But it was. I mean, it was raining pretty hard, so
Mhm.
that's kind of. A
But we had some of our group that went out and did their own 5K.
Yeah, they
No
did
kidding.
it later than the day. We went to Holmes Lake and walked around Holmes Lake, but we didn't get a run in. I don't like to run once it gets hot. So if it's not happening in the morning, it's not going to happen. So we didn't run last week, but
Really, you're out if it gets to a certain degree.
Ugh.
You're not going to run outside.
no.
What's
I-
the temperature?
It's not more temperature as it is time. Like I don't want to run past 10.
Yeah, you just-
probably.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
10
I see what
a.m.
you're
because it's
saying.
just miserable and the sun is just blares down on you. And I already got my run in this morning.
Well, and it's like most people.
Plus, we're morning people.
Most people, when it comes to working out, they want to get it done first thing.
Well,
So if
I
you're
do.
like, just waiting and now it's 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you just, I really want
You
to
don't
go
know how
out.
to eat to prepare for it, and so I didn't end up running. But
So if you're watching the stream, I am wearing my new Chicago Bears jersey. I wore it last week. So last week our show was recorded and the video got botched, so nobody actually saw it.
I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, it got
You
botched.
guys should shoot me every time you pre-record. Shoot me a text
Right.
so I can save the video
Okay.
before any botching can
Right.
happen.
Well, I thought, this is the first
I don't
time.
think it got botched. It just slipped through the cracks. We'll say we'll give Rico a
There's
little bit of
you
a
still had
benefit of the
audio,
doubt.
at least.
Right.
At least
We
there's audio files.
100% had audio. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
you
we
can
we had
tell.
we had a podcast, right, on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you still have your
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
Okay, because
It
we
was
had
on. It just didn't have. It was just the logo.
we had a ticket listener, Ben Garver, the Walleye guy,
Okay.
was our guest. And
Great name.
So so we recorded that show last Saturday and it aired on Sunday. And Ben was he was in town. He lives out on a lake for 5 months out of the year because that's what he does. So he was in town for the road race. So him and his wife, we got to meet her, and his daughter were down there at the stadium. And I know when we were leaving, they were like running down Memorial Stadium Drive. So or
Like
Stadium
racing.
Drive.
He was racing his daughter
Yeah.
for fun. Yeah.
So I know the kiddos were disappointed, but still for me, like going through the tunnel walk, that was really awesome. And
Because when you left the Hawk Center, you got to do the actual. Because going to the Hawk Center, you're kind of backwards doing
Yeah.
the tunnel walk. So when you left, you got to do the actual.
yeah,
I'd still be down.
Tunnel.
That'd be a good time.
It was.
Do tunnel
It
walk.
was really cool.
all the kids were touching the horseshoe. And I was like, I'm touching it. I don't care. You get the
People
camera
are
out.
holding their toddlers up,
Yep.
and then there's Jeff. Get out of my
Look
way!
out, move it.
No.
This is make way. I'm touching this thing.
You were not the only grown man that did that.
What's cool?
I
Like,
know.
it's like when
But right before you, it was a lady was literally holding up like her infant. It was adorable. So
ma'am,
cute.
Jeff, just wait your turn, Jeff.
I know.
excuse me, I need to get in here and touch this horseshoe. I've been wanting to do this my whole life. I know you got a little kid here that's so excited, but
I don't know how
I
important.
don't
I
even
can-
think that kid was excited. He was literally a baby. So but it was cute.
well, I can guarantee you I was probably the most excited person to touch that horseshoe.
Maybe. I don't know.
So it was pretty cool, but it was a great event. Hopefully next year it won't be rained out, but
You
when
were talking about your
oh
jersey.
yeah. Anyway, so my son Ben got this for me. Harrison's wearing the Chicago Bears shirt.
Mhm.
I just got this Justin Fields jersey for my birthday, which was last Saturday. So I thought I'd wear it again today.
Mostly because you're here today, Harrison.
Yeah.
We knew you were in studio.
Yeah,
in
and Jake called out
solidarity.
the Bears shirt early this morning.
Yeah, so I heard that.
We heard it.
And Pete had said something too. So just getting all kinds of grief for this.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We're
Bears
terrible. I don't understand.
Well, I get picked on. Oh, this
Is that a
morning,
flex?
there's too many of you guys running around here. 1, 2.
Yeah, but
It's like
How
two,
dare you?
2 fans of a horrible franchise.
Yeah, so
How dare us?
it's like, I don't know why people care so much. We're not even that good.
I think the Cowboys are just upset because they've been on a treadmill, just running as hard as they can, going nowhere forever. DP's just got reasons to be happy, so I'll cut him some slack. If he wants to talk down on the Bears, he's got a reason to smile.
It seemed like he was in the studio early today getting work done. And it seemed like he had a different.
It's got a glow to him.
He does. Like he's smiling. He just seemed like he was just. Living life at level
Snyder
10.
Curse is over.
Oh, he's just it just seemed like just felt a little different.
Yeah, the energy's up,
which is great.
All
We better throw it to break here. I see Amy's already on the stream. She's locked and loaded, so we'll be back with Amy Gunn, talk a little bit about her story. Don't go anywhere on the Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
You deserve the best. With a Liberty First MasterCard, you can pay down your high-rate debt and could save hundreds when you transfer the balance. The Liberty First Credit Union MasterCard has no balance transfer fees, no cash advance fees, and no annual fee. And with a fixed rate as low as 9.99% APR and you choose rewards, you'll be able to manage your card your way. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Rates and terms are based on your credit and subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we are back. I know, as Nicole was just giving me a hard time because I say the same thing every time we come back.
All right.
I mean, is that what everybody does?
Yes.
Like you kind of have the same.
Yeah, I got the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not making.
We know Raph does too. Raph always
says, "We're back again."
Again.
So you just hear those things. It's like we're doing some new instructor training, and we like. There's some instructors that'll say the same thing, like when they do certain exercise or a certain count. So we were just kind of talking about that yesterday because we're creatures of habit, you know.
Yeah,
so
as
we're
long
just
as your
like
thing isn't because I had a habit at that.
Yeah,
when I
that's
first
a
started
tough
going,
one.
that's a tough filler to have.
Yes.
It's like you're going through a subway line.
And
You
we
wanna
were kind
eliminate
of.
POs.
I think we were kind of like that, you know, when you first start on the radio, you're not used to the
You're
public
stringing it
speaking
together.
part of it. Yeah. So we're just, we have our guest
I don't
Amy
know.
on with us.
All right, we're back.
Oregon. All right. Well, we're joined on the stream by Amy Gunn, and I didn't know that Amy Gunn was she was a legend.
Celebrity.
Yes, like so many of our members at Farrell's know who you are, and that's
how we had her on the show because Carla said you should know me. Yeah.
Yes, Carla and Ashley, and I was like, because we were
Amy.
Yeah, yeah. So we're just like, wow, this is so. Then like, kind of, I listened to a podcast that you were on because they sent me your podcast, and I was like, wow, this is an awesome story. I need to reach out. And she was to come on with us. So we're gonna start. Well, first I want to start. Yesterday, you guys had you're a big climber, mountain climber, hiker, and I just saw this morning on your Facebook page you did a hike yesterday. Climbed up, summited Mount Washington.
Yeah.
And one of your group got injured on the way down.
Yeah. We were coming down this gully or the chute, and another one of the team had accidentally dislodged one of the boulders, and it fell down and like hit him in the leg, and he had to get airlifted out by the Coast Guard.
Oh, that was he's okay though, right? Just
he
foot or
I think that's what I read, that he had a broken foot. And so thankfully, like nothing else happened and he was otherwise okay. Nobody else got hurt. That was huge boulder that could have, it could have killed someone. So I'm so glad that everything was okay. And
I just saw it. I was like, Nicole, this just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a good thing it didn't happen to Amy, or we'd have to be finding a new guest for the show.
No, I feel like she could have had it propped up.
She would have been left and calling in the hospital, I think. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Amy. So we want to get into your background. I know, where at in Oregon do you live now?
I currently live in Portland, Oregon.
Okay. Well, we all know where Portland's at.
Yeah. So,
yes. And so where did you grow up in Nebraska? Tell us a little bit about like your childhood, where you grew up, if you were big into sports, fitness as a kid, middle school, high school. Just give us a little background about you.
So I grew up in Beatrice, Nebraska, and I went to Paddock Lane School, and I used to climb trees a lot. And there was this really tall swing that I really liked climbing that was probably like 10 feet off the ground. I like to climb up to the swing. And so I've always enjoyed climbing. And at one point as a teenager, I think I played volleyball for a little bit. And I tried basketball, but I was not very good at it. Or maybe I just didn't like coach. I'm not sure. But I've always kind of been, I think, attracted to sports in some way or fitness in some way, but not like, I don't like to have intentional fitness, like going to the gym.
Right.
I really love being outdoors and tricking myself into getting exercise, basically.
Mm-hmm. So growing up in Beatrice, how did you get to know these wonderful Farrell's members in Lincoln? Kind of give us that kind of background.
So at one point, I think it was like I was 18 or 19. I moved to Lincoln, and eventually I ended up working at Laszlo's, Laszlo's South, and eventually moved down to the Haymarket. And that is, I'd started running, and I think that's how I started getting to know all of these people, was Laszlo's and through running. And that was kind of it.
Did you do like a running group, like with the Lincoln Running Club, or
So I was in the beginner's luck running class. Yeah, with Ann Ringland. She's like who I call my running mother, because she is just this amazing person who's so involved with all the people. And
we've had her on our show.
Oh, good. Yeah. She's,
yes.
Oh, man. Even now.
She ran to the studio.
She did. Yeah. Well, and at one point I ended up slipping on a piece of ice in front of the ice machine, and I tore my meniscus in such a way I had to stop running. And so, but I still will talk to Ann, and I still let her know how I'm doing. And when I get a cool pair of shoes, I'll tell her all about it.
Was there any events that you did here in Lincoln, like in your early running career?
Yeah, I really liked half marathons a lot. I did one full Lincoln marathon, and I always wanted to do a second one just to get a better time, because my first full marathon time, I just wanted to beat Oprah. And I think I did. I'm not sure, but it wasn't by much. I was very slow, but I did it. So that was, to me, the important thing was just to do it.
When was that? How long? What year that was? Or
man, I think it might have been 2013, 2014, maybe.
Okay.
I can't remember. But Ashley Campula is the one that I ran the full marathon with.
Okay.
And I believe she's one of the people that are really into Farrell's.
Yep, she's one of our instructors.
Yeah, she's amazing. I love her so much. So I'm still friends with her to this day, and we get to chat once in a while.
That's one thing that I really like about running, because it's like time you get to spend with your friends doing stuff. Like, it's a really cool time. You get to know people in a different level when you run with it.
I've met so many amazing people through running and through that class. Like, the people that I still talk to this day, again, and I don't run anymore, but it's just, they're just so, I don't know. I'm just so grateful that I was able to have that time where I was able to run all the time.
Well, and that's what we say to people too with running, because, you're not going to be able to run forever. You don't know when you're not going to be able to run anymore. So like when I ran this morning, and that's what I kind of think about when I'm running, that like, I'm doing this now because I'm not going to be able to do this forever. You don't know. So you just might as well get out there and do it while you can, enjoy it, because like you said, injury or just life or whatever. So, and I'm sure that's the same thing with kind of what you do now. So,
definitely.
So you got injured and couldn't run. So like, what happened? How did that kind of derail your fitness journey?
Well, so I had soon after I stopped running, I had started I had started drinking again, and kind of got lost in alcohol, I guess. And it felt sort of like a being in a black hole. I would wish every day that I would just die and I wouldn't wake up anymore, because I hated my life so much. I tried to be happy, but it was just this big, nasty cycle for me. Alcohol is not good for me. It's not good in my life. I'm glad that it's not there anymore. And it's now been 6 years since I've had any alcohol, but yeah.
Congrats. Yep. Congratulations.
Thank
It is.
you.
And you said it's like a cycle, but it's almost like a spiral.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. That's a better word for it, is spiral. Because it did. It felt like just like a downward spiral. I mean, I've gotten 3 DUIs because of it. I've like made so many bad choices, and I mean, suffered blackouts, constant blackouts, and I think that alcohol was actually making me start to go a little crazy because like there was one time in particular, I was walking down the sidewalk after drinking, and I was going back to a theater to get the wallet from my friend, and I had passed someone with their puppy dog, and she had tried to talk to me, and I just like kind of tried to get away from her. And the next day I had just like this flashback or something, and it was actually my friend Emily and her full grown dog.
Oh my goodness.
And so that was like part of like me wanting to quit drinking again. Was, I mean, there's a lot of things that led up to it, but you know, it's like it's causing me to go insane. And so I really need this to be done. This is not a good.
That is actually a thing. My mom actually suffers from what's called alcohol-induced dementia. Like it's an actual thing. So you might have actually, yep. So that might have been what was actually happening.
Yeah.
That is a thing, and it's things that we don't talk about.
Right. Yeah. But it should be talked about.
Yeah, it's easy to be like, wow, that was scary. And then just, you know, so it's important to talk about that stuff because alcohol's not appropriate for everybody. So
right. Yeah. Some people
kind of normalize that.
Yeah. I am one of those people that just should not be drinking. Like I have tested myself over and over and over again. And I have tested myself enough to know that you know, it'll be like I could have like a drink today, but then like in a couple weeks, it'll be like 2 drinks. And then in a few weeks after that, it's like more and more. And I just, you know, you allow yourself to go down again, that spiral. And it was just, I don't know, again, it's just been the best decision I've made to get it out of my life.
We did get a message here on the stream from Joe P.
Joe!
So Joe's listening. We appreciate that. Joe says, Amy has always been an inspiration to me. Heart of gold, amazing story. Should write a book.
Wow.
So
cool.
That's awesome.
Thanks,
we
Joe.
appreciate you listening.
Thank you,
we're going to get
Joe.
into all your cool hiking stories out on the Pacific Northwest here at the top of the hour. Were you still living in Lincoln at this time? Like after you got injured and you got back into your drinking habits, were you still in Lincoln?
Yeah. I had quit drinking. I think it was a few months before I moved out to the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
I think I can't remember the cycle of events that happened. I know a friend of mine, my friend Brian, had bet me that I couldn't go 90 days without drinking, or no, it was 100 days. He bet me $100 that I couldn't go 100 days without drinking. And I remember how good I felt before when I had quit drinking for about a year before. And I was like, man, I want to feel like that again. And, you know, it's not forever. It's just for this 100 days. And then I'll go back. And, you know, within that time, I think my friend Dustin passed away within that time. And it kind of furthered I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, that could have been really dangerous if you hadn't been in that already, that recovery.
Oh,
period. Yeah, that could have been really bad.
So was his death, I mean, alcohol related? It was just an accident or like
I'm honestly, I'm not sure. I've never really asked the details too much. I know that when they had found a lot, I think that he had been drinking the day that he passed away. I know for a long time he was sober, and then he got back into alcohol, and I think it was between that and like a heart condition that was undiagnosed. I think copious amounts of alcohol, and that was what killed him. But I'm not 100% on that. I just know that he had a lot of life in front of him, and he didn't get to do all the things that he wanted to do. So
yeah, we all kind of have those moments where like we're just like, okay, I need to, you know, like for me, you know, when I started at Farrell's, I was 49% body fat. I had gotten denied life insurance at age 30. So that was kind of my like wake up call to be like, okay, this cannot go on anymore. I cannot be borderline pre-diabetic at age 30 with no life insurance coverage. And Nicole is a stay-at-home mom with 2 young kids. Like, this is not good for me. So that's kind of was my wake up call to like, okay, I need to stop this.
do something
to better my life. So it sounds like that situation was kind of got you off of that for good.
Yeah. There's I think there's a lot of things, but that was, it's one of those things that I remember, like, I don't want to do this again. This has affected my life for this long, this much, in this many ways. And I don't know, just the constant depression and anxiety that comes with that. It's just, man, I didn't know how crappy I felt until
we got you.
Until I feel better.
All right. Well, we're up against the break.
Okay.
When we come back, we want to talk about your time at Laszlo's, because there's a burger that you created.
We got the heavy stuff out of the way, important part of the story, but we'll bring it all back up.
We're going to lighten it up. We're going to go to break. Stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket on the Fitness Fanatics.
It's Christmas in July at Pillar Restaurant Group when you purchase a $100 gift card and receive a $15 bonus card. One gift card for all of our locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, the Butchery and Venue at Home, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Our Christmas in July gift card special is available at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations or online at prgnebraska.com. That's prgnebraska.com to get a $15 bonus card when you purchase a $100 gift card.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior. Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through July 25th are $2 off a pound of Denver steaks. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations opening soon at 27th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha, with soft openings in mid-July. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
We have 2 boys, so we needed more space. We lived in a townhouse.
So we decided to build.
Casey Bowman and her husband Joe built their first home with us. This is Bob Benish of Aspen Builders. Working with the Bowmans was fantastic.
After the first meeting, we really liked them as people.
I was really skeptical about the whole building process, more so than Joe was. If there were problems or issues along the way, they called and explained everything. They just really helped ease my mind.
They were really good about giving us options as far as what fit in the budget, what didn't fit in the budget. They have a designer, Rachel.
She was amazing. She was very helpful in making sure that our house turned out good. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change the lot. I wouldn't change colors. I love everything about it. Everything. It's perfect for us.
Like the Bowmans, you too can make your dream home a reality. Call us at 423-6811 or online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We are joined by Amy Gunn, all the way from Oregon. She's a Nebraska native, grew up in Beatrice, lived in Lincoln, now lives out in Portland, Oregon. We usually talk about NFL this segment, but Amy said she is not a football fan at all. But there's a story behind that, and it has to do with your days at Laszlo's.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, every football Saturday, I worked in the kitchen, and I was a griller mainly, and every football Saturday, we would just get slaughtered, like so many. It was a sea of red inside of Laszlo's. And so for me, all I wanted to do was leave and like get through the sea of red and go home. Like I wanted to be away from it. So for me, I don't know. I wasn't ever really excited. I don't really understand football. So it doesn't.
That's okay.
I'll tell you, most of our listeners would probably agree with me because they're, sports fans. It's like, you probably have less stress in your life than I do every single weekend, because when we're bad, it's stressful. When we're good, it's stressful. It's just stress all the time.
Well, I really like going, like I used to go out with my friends, like we would go to K-State, like when we would play, an away game at K-State, we go like rouse the fans out there or whatever, that was always fun. But I like, as far as like sitting down and seriously watching football, I'm just not, no.
It's not, being a sports fan is not a very good return on your investment.
I mean, it can be, but
for a few,
for some,
for like 2 years,
for the few, yes,
whatever you're
But it's kind of like we watch these games because you want the payoff, like the feeling when you're like when Nebraska has won national champ. Like I remember that feeling, 30 years ago, and I used to cry when Nebraska lost, and now our son cries when they win. That's kind of how the tables have turned in the last 20 years. But so you have a burger.
Oh, yeah.
That you named. So tell us about this burger at Laszlo's and what's on it.
Okay, so some of my friends who I don't know if they're all servers. I don't think most of them aren't servers anymore at Laszlo's, but my friend Nick and Sam were two of the servers that used to ask me when I was grilling during the day to make them something that's not on the menu. And I made them this burger, and it's got a sriracha lime aioli, peanut butter, jack cheese, bacon, and fried onions on top. And they thought it was so good that they talked to the owner, and the owner said that he would try it. He tried it, and then so recipe and design team came in and like made it, and we put it on the menu, and it's a really good, well-selling burger now.
So what's it called?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's called the Smoking Gun.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think I made that. I'm pretty sure my friend Brian actually made that up, and it's like the perfect name. Oh, it's got jalapenos on it too.
Wow, that's a lot of spice.
And
the
Smoking Gun.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So if you're out there listening and you've ever had the Smoking Gun at Laszlo's,
Now you know the origin.
Yeah,
you're listening to the creator.
I kind of want to go try that. That sounds pretty good.
That's pretty. I don't think I have ever anything named after me.
I was like, it's so cool, like it's.
Cool. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that King of Queens episode when Deacon had a sandwich named after him.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All the Palmer or something.
Yeah.
Doug Heffernan was just
mad. He's trying to get things named after
burger.
him.
Yeah.
Well, I know you would never try that burger, Jeff, because you're a very plain.
You would try it.
I would try it.
You like jalapenos and
I like all
onions
that.
and
yeah,
all that. I just like meat and cheese. I mean,
oh yeah,
I eat like a toddler.
You know, my friend Mike once got it was like a triple Widowmaker or a quadruple Widowmaker, which is like a Widowmaker's like 2 patties with cheese on it and bacon.
Oh, no, that sounds right down my. That sounds right. That sounds good for me.
Yeah.
Anything with the name Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Man, that's gonna be greasy,
tasty.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's why we work out, so we can eat these things every now and then, right?
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
okay.
I love eating so much.
We do too. That's why we work out, so we can eat.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to
That is
take a break.
interesting story.
When we get back, we're going to get into hiking, mountain climbing. We'll share our story from Colorado Springs with Amy. So we're going to have a lot of fun here in the second hour. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
The wait is almost over. The Guardians of Freedom Air Show is the hottest event in the area. Coming to Lincoln's Air Park on Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. Elevate your air show experience with tickets to the premium seating tent, padded seats, meals, and more for just $125. Premium tickets are going fast, so buy yours today. To purchase premium tickets and for more information, visit LincolnAirShow.com. We'll see you at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show in late August.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker Sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics, top of the hour here. It is July 23rd. If you missed any part of our show, you can check us out on all the podcast platforms. We are also on YouTube TV, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Allo Channel 951. And then, did I hear right? We're on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, we're on Amazon Prime.
Uh-oh. Now
We've always been on Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
but not live. But has it always been live?
No, I don't know if it's always been live.
Okay.
But you can get the show there now.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I know the podcast.
Has always been on there.
Okay.
I don't think we stream live there, though.
Okay.
So just the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't have Allo, but we do have Amazon Prime.
I've seen it on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
The
you never
podcast.
said anything to me about it.
What are you going to do with this information?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Download
Listen,
more podcasts
you-
to just bump your numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Jeff hates listening to you. Hate listening to yourself.
You
on the
never
show.
listen back to your show?
I cannot do it.
You've never listened to
I
your show.
will. It doesn't bother me, but you hate it. We'll be in the car, like in our trip to Colorado when our show was on, and I tried to turn it on. You're like, turn it off.
It's just one of those, I don't know. It's just, I just
You don't like it.
Don't really like listening to myself talk on here.
I did last Sunday. I did that too. I tried to harass you with it, but you didn't like it. So
And some of our instructors at Farrell's, like we record workouts for virtual, and they don't like to watch their workout.
I don't think it's entirely uncommon not
It's
to listen
not.
to yourself
I know.
back, but I do think it can be good practice.
That's true.
Because it's not
true.
comfortable listening to yourself. But
Yeah.
I remember listening to my first few shows being like, okay,
I have
let's keep
zero
working on
desire
that.
to go back and listen to those shows.
You were listening, and you're like, well, I said, what did you used to say a lot?
A lot of like, yeah, talk as the other person's talking. It
Uh-huh.
was too
Yep.
much. Yeah.
Yep, that's what you did.
I edit our virtual videos. And so I do hear myself a lot when I edit our virtual workouts. So I think I'm just used to it by now. I know what I sound like. It is what it is.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, we have a couple texts. So the first one came in a little bit ago. Last four digits 4219. So we're not sure who that is. They texted and said, "Thanks, Amy, for sharing her story. What a great guest."
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if that's one of your close personal friends or just a random
That's
person.
cool.
Missouri phone number.
Missouri phone number.
Yeah.
We
Oh.
also got a text from Jeremy the Grill Master.
We also had on our show.
So you hear that name,
yeah,
the Grill Master, and this is what the Grill Master says, and this is a high compliment.
Proven grill master.
Proven,
We've seen it live.
Proven Grill Master. Grill Master says, "I love that burger, and I always get it when I am there."
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is some, and Jeremy the Grill Master just ripped on me because I like my steaks well done. I don't.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. He is-
What are you doing eating steak then? I don't.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. So, but no, that's a high compliment.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jeremy. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, you can reach us on the Starter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685. So if you have any comments for Amy or questions, because we're going to get into hiking and mountain climbing and a bunch of cool stuff. So Amy, you now live out in Portland, Oregon. So what led you to move from beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska to Portland, Oregon?
Scenic.
It's where people tell me they drive through. They don't like stop. No, they just drive through. So I was living in Nebraska and I was working at, I should have also said I worked at Fireworks also for about 8 years or so. So I worked at Fireworks in Laszlo's, 6 days a week, 1 day off. And I think it was after Dustin had passed away that I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I kind of wanted to put it out like in the universe. Like I'd like to go somewhere. I'd like to do something. And about that same time, Moana came out and I call her like my Nebraska family, Jackie. She said you should watch Moana. I think you'd really like it. And I watched it over and over and over and over because I just thought she was amazing because she's not going out for love. She's going out for adventure and to find the heart of Tafiti to help her people. And I just thought, I mean, I visited Oregon in like 2002 and I remember it being really beautiful. And I would kind of tried to put it out. Like I tried to look for people in California that maybe needed a roommate because my brothers live out there. And so maybe I could be close to my brothers. But nothing, like no doors were really opening. And then a friend of mine had happened to reach out to me and she told me that she was sober and how there was a room opening up in her house and it was only going to be like $200 a month, I think, or $300 a month, which I'm now discovering is like, that doesn't happen, but it was like the worst house. It was kind of unlivable. Really. It was like a shell of a house, but it doesn't matter because it got me to where I am, so, and so what I did was, I talked to a friend and, asked if I could stay in her basement in Lincoln, and she said yes, and so I could save money. And then I got rid of everything I owned and or most everything. Everything else I could fit in my car. I fit in my car, and after I'd saved up a few $1,000s, and I just drove out to Oregon, and just I was like, screw it. I just want to have adventures. I want to see waterfalls. Waterfalls was the biggest thing on my mind. Waterfalls because they're so beautiful, and I want to live. I want to really live, and I want to. I don't care what happens. I just want opportunities, and so. Basically that was it. I just got in my car and I drove one day and now I'm here. And when I first got to Oregon, I just kind of like, since I had to pay only like $200-300 a month for rent, I just kind of like went everywhere I could and just, I don't think I was like hiking a lot. I was just having a lot of cool adventures. And from there, it went. I think I'd reached out to a couple friends on social media that I saw posting pictures of waterfalls, and they were like off-trail waterfall finders, and asked if I could have an adventure with them, and they said yes. And then they introduced me to my friend Amber, who was into hiking, and it's just kind of like it's all kind of taken off from there. And now I'm climbing mountains. Like this is just something so wild. Like I would have never in my wildest dreams imagined like where I'd be from, like wishing I could die every night to like here, where I'm at now. I'm so grateful to be here.
Yes.
So,
well, we had just went to Colorado Springs.
Oh yeah.
And I was emailing we wanted to climb Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the worst spring for snowfall in Colorado Springs.
It's our fault. It's our fault for planning the trip.
I know. And when I booked the trip in April, my brother lives in Breckenridge.
Okay.
So he's
probably similar story to him too. He went there
for his honeymoon.
Yep. And then came back to Iowa and was like, this is not it, and moved back and has been in Colorado his whole life.
He's been in Colorado for almost 30 years.
Yep.
But when I told him like, okay, we want to, because we've had a guest on that's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. So we were like, okay, well, we want to do this. We want to see this scenery at the top of
something. Yeah.
So the reason we chose Pikes Peak was because you could ride down.
Oh,
right?
Nice.
You ride the train down.
They have a train. Yeah. So you get climb up, hike up, get a 14er under your belt, and then just take the Krog Railway back down. And you don't have to hike down.
Yes. So that was our plan. But when I told him we were going in June, he was like, you're probably not going to be able to do it because there's going to be snow at the top. So, but so he was right. There was probably 3 or 4 feet of snow past the tree line on Pikes. In fact, like that Friday before we went, they had to do a rescue because somebody was trapped in the snow. And we're like, okay, the highest point we'd ever hiked was like 400 feet.
Oh.
I mean, we climbed up the Scotts Bluff Monument out there in Scotts Bluff, and then this little mountain, not even a mountain, just a little bluff or cliff in Arizona, in Yuma. So that was our experience.
But Jeff's brother was going to come with us on the hike to Pikes Peak. So we weren't going to be just like novices out there. We were going to have our expert with us too. So Rod was going to come with us.
Yeah, so we didn't even attempt to do it.
No.
But like driving to Colorado Springs, and this is kind of what we were talking about, how like, you know, why you moved out to Oregon was because of the scenery and the mountains and how beautiful it is. And we were driving to Colorado Springs, and you're looking at Pikes Peak and the mountains, and we're like, how do more people not get in accidents? Like just
distracted.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
look at this.
Yeah.
And then we're driving home to Lincoln, and all you see is the Capitol. That's your view. Driving we're going into Lincoln. There's the Capitol building.
Well, if you look to your left,
right.
So there's a few things you can look at. But the third day we were there,
we did do a lot of other hikes. And it's funny that you keep talking about waterfalls, because that was one of the things I wanted to see too. Like, I just think waterfalls are so cool. They're just like, that water does not care. It is just going to forge a path. And I love waterfalls. So we did get to see it. So,
which
pretty
was
cool.
the name of it. What was, I can't even remember the name of it now.
St.
Mary's
something Mary's Falls. Yeah, I can't remember.
So it was like, it was in the Cheyenne Mountain Range, and it was like a 3.5 mile hike up to this waterfall. And when we got there, I was just thinking, like, this is so cool because, and you probably feel the same way.
Probably every time.
We're seeing this waterfall. We put our feet in this waterfall, and it's water coming from Pikes Peak, snow melting, coming down. And I'm thinking, you can't just drive to this waterfall. Like, no, not everybody could just go see it.
Yeah, you have to earn that view. You earn the experience.
Yes, which is really cool for me. It was kind of like just a really, I don't know, not majestic. It's like a really cool moment when my feet were in that water, and I was just thinking, I just feel so blessed that I'm physically able to do this, and I'm in good enough shape that I can go out and I can see this. And you know, it was just really cool for us to experience that.
Yeah. There are many, many waterfalls that you can actually drive up to here, and you can just see, like, Multnomah Falls is the tallest waterfall in Oregon, I believe. And it gets to be kind of like a zoo there. Like, you only want to go there like super early in the morning, but, you know, so that's really cool. But, I do thank my legs often for working, and my feet, for getting me around, because there was a time that I couldn't really walk. So, you know, it's like so great to be able to get there and, you know, have a body that's somewhat reliable. And yeah.
Well, because I know that in the pictures you sent me, the first picture you sent me, that gal wouldn't be able to climb up these mountains.
And that was, so that was, I had a full foot reconstruction and a calf lengthening. And so I was actually using my iWalk. I couldn't really walk very well for maybe a year. So it was like right after I got to Oregon. I don't even know why. I'm not sure if my arches had fallen or what happened, because I have really flat feet. And just one day, kind of my foot started to hurt, and it hurt more and more and more until it was just like, at 1:30 in the afternoon, I would be done walking. Like, I would be just put my pajamas on after I get off work and sit in my chair. And that was it. That was my life. And I had finally gone to the doctor, who was like, your foot looks weird. And then the doctor sent me to a specialist and was like, well, it looks like your heel has become detached from your foot. And so you need this full foot reconstruction. We'll try physical therapy first. But I didn't know how I was going to be able to do that, since it's like, I think it's like, it was 6 months before I could like walk again. And it's like a year recovery, but I'm still like kind of recovering from it. He said that I'd probably only be able to maybe run like 2 miles. So this is kind of like been a haha moment, like where I'm doing a lot more than running 2 miles. You know, climbed up Mount Hood to the very top, like done so many cool things now that as I'm so grateful for the feat that I have. And as challenging as it is, it's so worth it to, to
you're like, you're out there, like some of the pictures you're like climbing with ropes and like, we just hiked on our feet. I mean, we didn't have to, we weren't like hanging, swinging from a mountainside. I mean, that's like
yesterday, that was my first rappel was yesterday. So my friend Mark that's come into my life, I've met him and his wife Stacy are just like spectacular people. And Mark is a wonderful mountaineer, absolutely amazing. And so he's been sort of like, he's probably going to hate that I'm saying this, but he's been my mentor through all of this because he's the one who's helped me like figure out what I need to do to get where I'm at. And yesterday, he took me and he had a team together and we all went up on Mount Washington, and that's where we roped up for part of it. So if we fell, we wouldn't fall too far. And then on the way down, you have your harness on, you clip in, and you rappel down. And at one point, my feet were above my head, I would say. So that was a little scary, but I worked it out. Yeah.
We've tried to do some wall climbing in a controlled environment inside of a building, and I get up about 15 feet, and I'm like, look down, and I'm just like,
you freeze, like your body freezes.
Oh.
That's a huge mental thing. I think it's probably more mental. Yeah, that's so cool.
There's been a lot of like desensitization, I think, that I've had to do, and like, I don't know. I think maybe it was just from like climbing trees when I was younger. I just really, I remember the first time going up Mount Hood, I remember thinking about that climb because you have to use your ice tools or your ice axe and your ice tool and you wear crampons and, it's very, very serious because there's like ice falling down at you and you put on your helmet and you climb like a wall basically. And I remember thinking about it and thinking how scary it's going to be. And I was terrified, but excited all at the same time. And then getting to do it was just like, I wasn't as scared anymore. Like all the things that I was afraid of were just like things that my mind had made me believe was going to be really scary to me. But it wasn't. It was just exhilarating.
We got a couple texts. I want to read them, and then I want to talk more about the Mount Hood, climbing up Mount Hood. So a couple texts real quick. One is from your daughter. Says, I am so very proud of you, Amy. I love you. Or no, from your mom. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oops. You're probably like, oh, what are you talking about? I love you, mom. From your mom.
Okay.
I just missed.
Okay. Yeah.
I read it the same way too.
I thought it said I love you, mom, not I love you, mom.
Oh.
You didn't read all of the words.
This is a typical male reading this text. As Harrison and I both watched it. We were like, oh, we read it the same way.
Right.
So that's one.
Nice.
And then the next one says, Amy likes to discount her ability in the mountains. As someone that's been climbing with her, I can tell you she's a natural at everything she does. She's an absolute inspiration, absolute joy to be around. Her spirit and energy is infectious. It makes all our adventures type 1 fun. I'm not
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah,
I was going to say, didn't say his name, but I'm assuming that that's who it was. So thank you. Appreciate you guys listening.
So cool.
So Mount Hood, we had some friends that lived in Camas, Washington, which is just north of Portland. Yep. So Nicole and I, we've been to Portland with our kids. Oh, it probably would have been like 2008, maybe. We flew out to Portland, and I remember being in the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're flying there, the pilot's like, okay, now if you look off to your left, there's Mount Hood. If you look off to your right, there's Mount St. Helens. And we look over and you see Mount St. Helens like on TV, being in the Midwest, but like to look out the plane and you're like, oh my gosh, there's this just flat at the top. Like it was really cool to see. So yeah, like when you look at Mount Hood, you don't think that like, cause you see all that snow and ice. Like I never thought people could climb to the top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really cool. So how long of a hike is that? Like, what do you have to do to prepare for that? Like nutritionally and stuff like that for a long day like that? So
what I did to prepare for it, There's a couple what we call trainer hikes that are like mountain stats, basically. Like I think Kings Mountain. I can't remember what the stats are on that, but basically it's very, very steep, and you just go up that as often as possible. You're just training yourself to go up. So there is like the first part of climbing Mount Hood is you hike up to Devil's Kitchen, and then you put on. You hike up to Palmer. It's Palmer ski lift, and then you stay at Palmer. You take a break. You want to hydrate. You want to eat. You want to take care of your body, and then you hike up a steeper hill to Devil's Kitchen, and then you stop and you hydrate and you take, you eat and make sure your body's good again. And then after that really, really steep hike, that's when the technical part starts. So generally it's after Palmer, you put on your crampons, you have your ice axe out, you have your helmet on, and
crampons, that's like the shoes, right? With the little
that's metal spikes, like very large. Yeah. Yeah, you don't like when you, let's say, down in snow, you don't want to have those on because they can actually get stuck in snow and you can break your ankle. So they're very serious.
Yeah, for ice.
Yeah, yes, for because there's micro spikes, but those don't really stick in the ice too much. Like you want big long spikes that are gonna keep you in there because that's what's saving your life, from falling down the mountain. But then you go over what we did was my first time went over, basically it's a very steep narrow ridge called the Hogsback, and you hike along there, I guess, and then you start, eventually you go on this really narrow traverse over to the old chute, was my first one, and you just start climbing up. You have to stick your ice axe and your ice tool into the snow and just keep climbing up. You kick your steps in, and you do that all the way to top, and it's pretty exhausting, but it was definitely somewhere I cried at the top a few times because it's very, very hard.
Well, we always say when we have guests on, there's always someone crazier than you are.
Yeah, whenever you think you're doing something crazy, there's always someone crazier. I mean, there's people crazier than climbing Mount Hood, but that sounds crazy.
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And again, I thought that climbing up that wall was going to terrify me, and I thought at the top it's basically what I call a ridge line at the top. That's the catwalk, and I guess my catwalk was pretty wide, but sheer drop offs on both sides. But so I thought that was going to be really terrifying to me, but it was just like getting up to the top, man, it was just so amazing that I didn't even realize I was walking across this really steep ridgeline, and then you walk over to the summit.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think we do that so much.
Oh yeah,
in our minds. We think about things in worst case scenarios.
Oh yeah,
and then you're in it, and it's not none of the stuff that you're afraid of happen. I mean, sometimes it does, but that was a huge discovery for you, and I think it's important for everyone to take that with them, from listening, that your fears is probably what's holding most people back. It's not the reality of doing the thing; it's the fear of doing it. That's
Yes, exactly. Like, what's that quote? Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Just right before any climb, really, I still have pretty bad anxiety at times. And right before the Mount Washington climb, actually, I had messaged my friend Mark, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should drive my car to the trailhead. I started really getting in my head, and and on my end, I was like, God, I don't know if I can do this. What am I going to do if I freeze? Am I going to be strong enough to do this? Holy crap, I'm going to be in the middle, on the wall, on the, the rocks, and I won't be able to go anywhere because I'll be too scared. And that didn't happen at all. It's just your anxiety lies to you. And if you push past that and keep pushing past that, I don't know if it ever gets easy, but maybe that's what makes it so spectacular, is when you get to that summit, whatever your summit is, that when you get to that summit, it's it feels so good. And I know for me, it's been the actual summit that like, it's a mountain high. It's just
Yeah.
so incredible. And
Well,
it's great.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's just great to have friends who will, I guess, change the channel on that anxiety. You know, like when I tell my friend Mark, like, I am terrified. What can I do? Like, what am I going to do? And he'll just say, get out of your head. And it just changing the channel a little bit for me is what I need. You know, like he's like, you'll be fine. I got you, you know, and he does. So I always feel very safe.
All right.
That's
Well, with
awesome.
that, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little more, get some more cool stories from Amy with her journeys out or adventures, Amy's adventures out in Oregon. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics.
Oh, is that your new intro?
Yep, it is my new intro.
Okay.
Smooth.
For today. I might come up with another one for next week.
Okay. Good
We'll
job.
see. Or maybe I should
It
have
sounded
you.
very natural.
I think you need to do the intro.
I can't.
Have you ever done an intro?
When he wasn't here?
What's your go-to?
Probably all right. I don't remember. I don't know.
All right, we're back. Yeah.
Listen, I was just pointing it out. I wasn't harassing you about
do
it.
say all right.
I probably did.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you guys are the same on that.
Probably.
Pot calling the kettle black right
No,
here.
I wasn't criticizing. I was just saying. That's all. That's all.
People are get used to the comfort of hearing, all right, we're
Yes.
back. Oh, I better peek up. We're
Okay.
ready to go now.
All right.
All right. So we're joined with Amy.
All right.
All right, here we go. We need to get some more cool stories. So, Amy, give us a couple, like, what are the coolest things that you've seen out in Oregon? And also, do you have any aspirations of doing something crazier? Like,
definitely.
like,
You don't even know it. Let her decide what's something crazy.
yeah, I don't know. Crazy to me is, going up Scottsbluff Monument. So.
A day fun family outing. We didn't train for
that. So I am really, I've seen, I don't even know how many cool things. I mean, Oregon has so many amazing things. If you've ever read those Choose Your Own Adventure books.
I love those books. I wish
I
they
know.
would bring
They're
those back.
amazing.
I know.
But so that's what Oregon.
Do you know about those books? Hold on, I want to ask our producer Harrison. Do you know about Choose Your Own Adventure books?
I'm searching my brain.
He's
here.
like 23.
I'm the idea of Choose Your Own Adventure books.
He's young.
Yeah,
It's like a book you read to a certain part, and they're like, if do you want to go down path, whatever, go down the wooded path, turn to page 73, or do you want to stay on the whatever, and you turn to a different page, and the book changes depending on what page you turn to.
No, the closest thing I've been to is like Oregon Trail.
I know. I wish they bring those back. Harrison's much younger than us.
He's literally he's like 20.
He's always our kind of our guy.
He's
Yeah.
24. Yeah.
So 24-year-olds don't know what Choose Your Own Adventure books are, but I think they should bring those back. But okay, back to you.
But that's what Oregon reminds me of. It is Oregon and Washington, really. It's choose your own adventure, because there have been just so many cool things. And every time that I think that I've seen like the most beautiful place or the coolest thing, I go somewhere and it's even more beautiful. I went to the North Cascades last year, and I was actually disappointed in Oregon when I came back because it was so beautiful there. Like, I'd love to get up to Canada at some point to see the mountains up there and go climb a few mountains up there. I think that would be amazing. Basically, I just kind of put it out there in the universe that I am ready for any adventure. I like any opportunity that I can have that comes my way, I want to say yes to. I guess that's my thing. It's like just saying yes to opportunity and adventure. So, yeah, that's where I stand on that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So besides like Canada, do you have, what's the longest kind of climb or hike that you've done? Have you done ones where you have to like overnight and stuff like that?
Oh, well, so actually right after I get done with this, me and a friend of mine are going to a place called the Goat Rocks. We're backpacking up to a meadow, and then we're going to go climb a mountain called Old Snowy. And we're doing that. We're hiking in today, and then we're going to like set up camp, and then we're going to do it in the morning and then come back. And the longest like day hike I've done was the Enchantment, which is just an amazing, amazing place. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And it's, I think it was around like 22 or 23 miles. And, but it's spectacular. Like a friend of mine had told me to take more time than you think you need because it is absolutely stunning. Like so many lakes and so many mountain peaks and just like, oh, there's marmots there. There are goats there. So many great things.
Where is that at? Like
the Enchantment?
Yes.
The Enchantment is near Leavenworth, Washington.
I mean, with a name like that, that's
now,
so cool.
Yeah.
We have been to Leavenworth, Washington.
Okay. It's so cool there. It's like a Bavarian town.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have our friends who used to live in Camas, Washington, now live in Mount Vernon, Washington.
Okay.
So we took a trip there. We actually drove from Des Moines, Iowa to Mount Vernon, Washington.
Yeah, different trip.
Yeah, like up through Montana and Idaho and Washington. And we drove home through Oregon, Utah.
Was that the same day? Didn't we do a little hike? I wonder if that was like part of it. Obviously not a huge. We went somewhere and hiked somewhere.
I don't think so. But now that we've heard about this,
I know
we actually have a place where we could go and like stay for free with them. Be like, listen, we had this gal named Amy on, and I wonder if Mike and Anissa, they may probably know.
I don't know, but I'm all in because Enchantment, that name alone. I am.
We're gonna have to research this because, like I said, we drove from Mount Vernon to Leavenworth, and we spent the day in Leavenworth, so we know right where that is.
I do.
Yes.
So with the Enchantments, if you wanted to stay the night there, you have to put in a lottery, and then you get a permit to stay overnight. Otherwise, you have to do the through hike and get out of there. But
yeah, we wouldn't necessarily do the whole thing. I don't like to sleep out in the nature. I'm not about that. But you could still go like a certain amount and come back, right?
Yeah, a lot of people go to Kolchak Lake, which is absolutely stunning. But it's I think 8 miles round trip. So that's what I think a lot of people do. Otherwise, you have to go up Asgard Pass, which is like a very steep section of rock that you're basically climbing vertically up to the Enchantments to the core.
That doesn't sound like us.
Right.
We need something where we stay on our feet.
Well,
that sounds like a scary name. Who's coming up with these names? Because that sounds scary.
Yes, Asgard Pass is very, very steep, and
like we're gonna go stay at we take a break at Devil's Kitchen. You're just like, okay, well, there's a name there's a reason it's named this.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's to tell that story and you've gone through Asgard's Pass or whatever that was, that's pretty
cool. Asgard. Cool. Oh, that's from Thor.
Yeah.
So, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Enchantment. We're gonna have to
look up the Enchantments. It's gorgeous.
We went to Leavenworth. We had little kids. Like we had our son was like 4.
Not even. He was very small.
So like,
our kids were little.
We wouldn't be able to do that with them at that time. But now that they're older,
it was very sightseeing.
Yeah. Well, and now, so this October I won the lottery for the Lake Stewart. So I get to hike into Lake Stewart, which is less of a steep hike. It's like 4.5 miles in to this amazing lake that you can camp at. And so me and a few friends are going to do that. But that's another option, I think. It's not as like insanely popular as Kolchak. Kolchak I don't think is that technical. It's just a really steep hike.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the coolest thing about camping overnight in the mountains? Because Nicole and I, we've camped one time since we've been married in a tent. But it was in a campground
in Iowa. Right.
Yeah, it's different. It's
but your brother camps. He does tons of hikes where he camps for days. He'll do day hikes.
He'll be gone for a week.
Yeah.
At camp for a week. Him and he has a Malamute.
So talk us into this process. Talk us into this.
Sell us on camping in the mountains somewhere.
Well, I don't know how good I'm going to be at talking you into camping. I'm not sure if I've actually camped on a mountain yet. It's in
overnight,
like in a hike during
what
a hike.
you're doing. Yeah. You set up
So
camp.
backpacking. Okay, so you get a very large backpack, and it's a backpack is what I have, and I'm gonna bring like you want everything to be super light. You want to try to get your pack under 30 pounds if possible, and usually you have to think about like how much water you're gonna drink, or get like a filtered water bottle. Or like I have a thing called a Be Free that you can get at REI, and it's you can fill up. It's a 3-liter container. They fill up with water, and then you hang it from a tree, and you can open it up and get water filtered through that. And you want to bring like things that aren't going to expire quickly. Usually like those tuna packets that they have now are really amazing, and like a tortilla, fantastic. Couscous is fantastic, like backpacking food. I have jet boil that I use to like heat things up, or you can bring like a little saucepan, and you get all of your things that you need, like your tent, your sleeping bag, any clothes, your food, bear canister if you need it, and then you put them all in one pack, and you put it on your back and go hike.
The back's kind of aching already.
Not selling
about
me,
it.
right?
Yeah, no, I know. You
a lot of work.
So it is, but the good thing is that when you're hiking in with all this crap on your back, once you put it down, you get to spend the night in the mountains, and like you get to like see the sunrise and the sunset, and you can just sit there and I don't know, like just be.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
fantastic. It's
That's what Rod, Jeff's brother, who does a lot of hiking, and that's what he does. It's more backpacking. He doesn't do a lot of like super technical climbs. He just hikes in these, and oh my gosh, the pictures of the lakes.
Oh yeah.
It is beautiful.
It's ethereal. Like I can't even describe it any other way. Oh my gosh.
Well, and when we were in Colorado, every time I would take a picture. You take a picture and then you look at it and you're like, this isn't even the same thing. Like
It's a full, it's a full sensory experience. It's like you have your eyes, and then you can the smells and the sounds. And I mean, sometimes when I'm just out hiking, I will just stop and just listen to, because I really like mornings. I like hiking in the mornings, and I like going solo, and I like just listening to birds and no cars. I like listening to the wind. I like smelling the smells again, like the trees, and it's a full, you're immersed in nature. A lot of times I put my phone in airplane mode, so that way nobody can bother me. It's almost like a meditation, like I'm just fully immersed in wherever I'm at.
Now, have you had any scary experiences? Things that have happened, worst case scenario, but obviously you still made it through.
There was this one trail I went on once that I was hiking up, and I had to pee, and so this trail was very like kind of narrow, and so there's nowhere to really step off, and there was this spot. It was like a big like tree that had fallen in the forest, and I was kind of like in front of it, and I just kind of like squatted down to pee, and then as I'm standing up, I noticed there's a bear in the forest. And I was like, holy crap, there's a bear right there. What do I do? Like anything that I thought I knew to do just left my brain. So I was like, oh my God, that's a real bear that can kill me if it wants to. And so naturally I'm like, well, I can't run because it could think I'm a treat then. So I started recording it. And nobody's gonna believe me. But the bear just like walks through the forest, and I think he's just gonna like walk away. And all of a sudden, the big tree that I was in front of, he just turns and like starts walking toward me. And he's like swaying his head like he hadn't noticed me yet. And so I just remembered my friend Tim had told me a story about when he saw a bear and the bear was coming toward him. He just like yelled, "Get out of here, bear!" And so that's what I did. I just yelled, "Get out of here, bear!" It ran away. So that was the day I also learned that black bears are kind of big pussies. Like they just, they don't really want much interaction with you. Like if possible, as long as it's not a mama bear, you don't want to mess with mama bear. But that would be one of the times.
That would be scary.
Yeah. It was really unnerving, but it was like after I figured out like, oh, this is what I do. Then it didn't feel so scary anymore. You know, it was like, okay, bear, come back so I can like try this again.
Yeah.
But I mean, there have been like experiences like yesterday where I'm like doing my first rappel. That was pretty unnerving at first, and you know, my feet are up over my head at one point, and that was pretty scary. But you just kind of work through it and tell yourself you can do it and breathe. You know, breathe.
And you're still here. You've made it through every scary experience so far.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm here.
Very cool. Yeah, a bear would be a scary experience.
A bear was scary. Yeah, I've not run into any
story. Great story.
Oh,
I mean, it's not like you encountered the bald-headed killer bear from Clare County from the Great
Right.
Outdoors.
I'm honestly definitely usually more scared of people that I encounter or people that I might encounter on the trail than the animals. Like generally they're not like the animals just kind of want to leave you alone. But that's not always true. Right after I moved to Oregon, there was a story about a lady who went up on this trail and she got killed by a mountain lion or a cougar. And so that trail has been kind of like I don't know if I want to go there, you know, because lady got killed.
I think that would be scarier than a bear to encounter a mountain lion.
Yeah, definitely. Cat.
Yeah. A little more predatory.
Honestly, it's like the risks that we take to do these things, you know, like I mean, like yesterday, the part of the climber on my team that got injured, like it really sucks. And I'm very, very sad that happened to him, and his recovery could be long, and I hope that he's going to be okay. But it is like part of the risk that we take when we do these things, you know, like that could happen. Like if I'm out on a trail, I could get mauled by a bear or a cougar, or you know, I could fall off a mountain. You know, these are just risks we take, and I don't want to die. I'm doing this because I want to live. And it's when I feel the most alive, you know, standing on top of that mountain, climbing up that mountain, I feel so alive. Like it's like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what it feels like so natural.
All right. We're going to take our last break, and we'll be back and wrap things up with Amy Gunn all the way out in Portland, Oregon. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you wanna come and text us,
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's a new era for Nebraska football with a new head coach. Gear up for the season with 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days. Live from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis on July 26th and 27th. Jay Foreman, Amon Green, Vershawn Jackson, Terrell Farley, Derek Pearson, Steve Sipple, and Jake Sorensen will be in Indy for our shows on Wednesday and Thursday. Coverage of Big Ten Media Days is brought to you by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate, Gary Michaels Clothiers, Warhorse Gaming, A1 Automotive, and the 1890 Initiative.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are on our last segment here. We've been joined by Amy Gunn, former Nebraska Cornhusker.
Well, that's not wrong.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We were talking about football.
Former Nebraskan, now lives out in Portland, Oregon. We want to thank you for taking time. I know it was early out there on the West Coast when you joined us at 7:30. So we appreciate your time this morning. We just want to have finish up with this. So we might have some listeners out there that may be in a similar spot that you were in your life. We always try to help inspire people on this show. What is some advice that you have for those out listening that may be in a similar spot that just maybe need some encouragement to get out of whatever they're going through today?
So I guess one of my favorite sayings, I said it on the podcast, is if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. I think that you should always challenge yourself to do better. And also remember that this too shall pass. Like, today is going to be a bad day, but maybe tomorrow is going to be better. Like, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And, I personally recommend that if you're a drinker, that quit drinking because that's helped me a lot. But, that may not also be your path, which is fine. If you have opportunities to take them, do research, surround yourself with people that you want to be like. If you have people that you admire, don't be intimidated by them and stay away from them. Try to be their friends because they are the people that will help you. The friends that I have in my life right now, like, my friends, Mark, Andy, Leslie, Kim, like so many friends that are just so knowledgeable, and they're helping me become who I want to be and, to live my life the way I want to live. Open yourself up to opportunities. I don't know. That's kind of just my thinking on it, and do something every day that will frighten you, because don't let your anxiety talk you out of it. Your anxiety will lie to you. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Like just being around like-minded people.
Yeah.
Support you. And yes.
It's huge. Like, if somebody is a positive influence in your life, they will, I think that might be probably the biggest thing for me, is like surrounding myself with this positive people who want to build me up, and make me stronger and just help me get to be a better person.
That's what I like about what we do, owning a gym and helping people get healthy. And we've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing ferals for 16 years. But what is really cool is, well, you're inspired by other people. And it's really cool when you get to do cool things too, but then, you see other people do things that are amazing and you get to be a part of that. I like that too. Like, you know that you're a part of that in a way that you have encouraged them or you've helped them along the way. And I love that because it's just so encouraging to look back and see the people that we've helped and the things that they've been able to do. And it's not taking credit for, other people's successes, but it's just being able to be a small part of that, which is so cool. But you also have to have that vulnerability of being that person that needs the help and support.
Yes. And you need to, like, there are people that, are more knowledgeable about things than you are. Like, listen to them, do what they say, don't just try to go on your own. Like, you've got to really pay attention to what they're telling you. And if people are willing to share their knowledge with you, that's amazing. And also look around for opportunities. Like, I recently became a Mazama, so that way I could join the classes and I could get better at my skills that I'm just learning, like, I don't know, there's so many things. That vulnerability is really important.
Sounds like you're in an upward spiral now.
Yes.
Oh,
upward spiral.
It's crazy. I honestly feel like I'm just beginning to live. Like, it's just every day, so many cool things happen and I have so much to look forward to. And I don't know. I think back when I was on that summit yesterday, it made me cry just getting up there because I just think about when I wanted to die, when I would think about dying every day. And I'm so glad that didn't happen. I'm so glad that I lived. And I'm so glad I'm still living,
Well,
Awesome.
Amy, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it so much. We're looking forward to following your story as you go along and see what more crazy ventures await you. So thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time on the Fitness Fanatics next Sunday on the Ticket.
Thank you so much.
Yes.